Your Azure bill is climbing and finance wants answers. The instinct is to hunt for cheap virtual machines, but real savings come from making the right structural decisions, not chasing discounts. In the next 5 minutes, I'll give you a playbook, the criteria that actually move the bill, the realistic options for compute, storage, and scaling, and a framework for deciding where each one fits. This is a decision guide, not a feature tour. Prices and tiers change constantly, so treat my numbers as illustrative and confirm against current Azure docs and the pricing calculator before you commit. Before touching a single resource, anchor on 4 criteria. First, workload predictability. Is usage steady 24/7 or spiky and unpredictable? Second, fault tolerance. Can the workload survive an interruption? Third, commitment appetite. Will finance accept a 1 or 3 year lock-in for a discount? Fourth, engineering effort. Every optimization has a maintenance cost, and saving $50 a month isn't worth a week of work. Rank your workloads by spend first. The top 10% of resources usually drive the majority of the bill, so optimize those and ignore the long tail. The cheapest discount is on capacity you never needed. Start with Azure Advisor and Azure Monitor metrics to find virtual machines running under 5% CPU and oversized SQL databases. Downsize or consolidate first. Only after right-sizing should you buy a commitment, because reservations lock you into a specific size or family. Buying a 3-year reservation on a machine that's twice as big as it needs to be just makes a mistake cheaper, not gone. Right size, observe for a couple of weeks, then commit. For compute, you have 4 pricing models. Pay-as-you-go is full price and maximum flexibility. Use it for short-lived or unpredictable work. Reserved instances give up to roughly 70% off for a 1 or 3 year commitment to a specific size, best for steady baseline capacity. Savings plans give a similar discount but apply to a dollars per hour commitment across compute types, trading some discount for flexibility. Spot virtual machines offer the deepest discounts, often 80 to 90%, but Azure can evict them with 30 seconds notice, so reserve them for batch jobs and fault-tolerant workloads. A common pattern: reservations or savings plans for your baseline, spot for bursty batch, pay-as-you-go for the rest. Storage is where quiet waste accumulates. Azure Blob Storage offers hot, cool, cold, and archive tiers. Hot costs more to store but less to access. Archive is dirt cheap to store but charges retrieval fees and latency measured in hours. Use lifecycle management policies to move blobs automatically as they age. Watch for orphaned managed disks from deleted virtual machines, premium SSDs sitting on dev workloads, and over-provisioned databases. And remember egress. Data leaving an Azure region costs money, while data flowing in is generally free. Architect to keep chatty services in the same region. Paying for idle capacity is the most common cloud waste. Match the hosting model to the traffic shape. For spiky or low-volume workloads, serverless options like Azure Functions on the consumption plan or Azure Container Apps scale to 0, so you pay nothing when there's no traffic. For steady, high-throughput services, a provisioned app service plan or Azure Kubernetes Service, aka is cheaper per request. Add auto-scale rules and shut down non-production environments overnight and on weekends. An automated nightly shutdown of dev and test alone can cut those environments' compute cost by roughly 60 to 70%. Optimization decays without governance. Enforce a tagging policy with Azure Policy so every resource carries an owner, environment, and cost center. Then use cost management to slice spend by those tags. Set budgets with alerts at, say, 80 and 100% so surprises hit your inbox, not the quarterly review. Group workloads with management groups and subscriptions to map spend to teams. The goal is a feedback loop. The engineers who create cost can see it and own it. Visibility is what keeps last quarter's wins from quietly eroding. Here's the playbook in order. Rank workloads by spend and focus on the top 10%. Right size and delete waste before buying anything. Then layer commitments, reservations or savings plans for your steady baseline, spot for fault-tolerant batch. Match hosting to traffic shape and shut down idle non-production. Finally, wrap it all in tagging, budgets, and alerts so the gains stick. If you do just one thing this week, turn on Azure Advisor cost recommendations and enable a nightly shutdown for your dev environments. That's measurable savings with almost no risk. And always validate current pricing and tier details in the Azure docs because the numbers shift. If this helped, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.